Hey everyone, you're watching Good Things Brings, and today we're joined in conversation by Andreas, lead guitarist of the Brazilian metal legends Sepultura. Andreas, how are you today?
Great, man. Good to be here talking to you. Excited to be back in Australia with such a special occasion, the festival and all. So, it's going to be a great way to end this amazing year for us.
Now, of course, as a band, you've been coming to Australia for a very long time, since way back in the Chaos AD days. Do you have any particularly fond memories of your time spent here?
Yeah, actually, it was a little before that. Like on our Rise tour, we already went to Australia for the first time. Because our Rise tour took us all over the world, and it was fantastic. I mean, we were really welcomed since the first time in Australia, and we have this amazing connection with the fans. In many ways, I think Australia has a lot of similarities to Brazil, and we are from the south of the world, and uh, and we always had great time in Australia. Every type of tour and situation, and especially now, it's going to be the first time we're going to do this festival in Australia with such a diverse lineup. It's going to be great to play for new fans or new people that never seen Sepultura. So very excited about on this run right now.
Now, you did mention there's quite a variety of acts on this festival. Have you ever played with Devo before? That's got to be a first.
Dude, as far as I remember, no. I remember that I saw Devo on the Lollapalooza in the 90s when the Metallica was there and Ministry, I think, or something. Was a really nice lineup, and I remember watching them. But this is the first time we're gonna be on the same bill. It's excited.
It's a pretty fun combination. Now, you've got 15 studio albums to choose from when it comes time to put together sets for festivals. I'm curious what approach you're going to take for Good Things. Is it just play the hits so everyone has a good time, or is there a little bit of self-service in there as well?
I think both. I mean, when we have a short time, we have the set list kind of ready with many different set times. Because especially in Europe in the summer, we play so many diverse. Sometimes an hour, sometimes 40 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half. So we are ready to prepare. According to our limits. A set list that will suffice the history, and we can represent the new and the old. So yeah, it's not easy, but we found a way to manage that, and between us four, we always find a way to represent everything. So I think we're ready. We're gonna be playing a lot of the Quadra stuff for sure, because this is the last album, but we're not gonna forget the history of Sepultura, of course. But it's gonna be intense for sure.
I think intense is a good description of your live performances that I've seen anyway, and I'm sure everyone's really looking forward to it. Now, you are, of course, playing a run of sideshows while you're here. Is that where fans might get the opportunity to hear a little bit more of the Sepultura
Oh yeah,
catalog?
definitely. Yeah, it's gonna be a longer set. We're gonna be able to be more relaxed, really, to put more songs and stuff, and it's gonna be more of a complete concert for sure.
That's brilliant. Now, you did touch on this already, but your most recent record is Quadra. That came out in 2020. This long-awaited follow-up, is it any closer to being a reality?
No. I mean, we are thinking about, of course, working on the of a live album. Next year, we're going to celebrate 40 years of history, and that's the idea, really, to continue touring, to go new places. We are already recording every show since we did the European tour, and then we went to Indonesia and Singapore, and now we're going to Australia. We are recording everything. So the idea is to put out like 40 songs in 40 different cities around the world. So we're gonna do it in parts. So that's what we're gonna do for the next year or year and a half. Who knows? But we feel Quadra is still very powerful, very, very strong, and we want to stretch this momentum as long as we can, and then we can think about something new.
Brilliant. Now, if I'm hearing you correctly, this means that Australian audiences are very likely to feature on this 40-year anniversary.
Yeah, man, of course. So we all have to scream a lot, and loud, so we can hear yourself on the recording later.
That's brilliant. I think you'll find that just that alone will be enough to give you the loudest refuse resist you've ever heard.
Yeah, man.
Now, just touching
Can't
on that,
wait.
does it frustrate you as a human that a lot of the lyrical content behind your earlier work is still relevant now? Like, shouldn't we have developed as a species by this point?
Dude, yeah, that's a great question. And very sad, because territory, I mean, it was written for what's, still happening in the Palestine and Israel and Gaza Strip and all that stuff. It's so sad, man. And it's amazing that human beings cannot find a solution, or they don't want to find a solution, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that for many years, and unfortunately didn't change anything. But I know our fans are together with us. They're not making war. There's a lot of people on both places, even Russia and Ukraine as well. They're not a part of it. The fucking politics. They're fighting with each other, and then the people pay for it. I know we are peaceful. The metal community is peaceful, and we're gonna fight for that. Fight for peace, if it makes sense. you know or work for peace, I guess, is a better way to put it. And music is peace. Music is gathering. Music is respect. Heavy metal is the most popular style in the world. Sepultura went to 80 countries, regardless of politics and religion. We were all together there screaming roots, bloody roots. And why not, right? I mean, there's a way that we can connect to each other regardless of our differences, and really be together somehow. It's possible. I mean, music is it's a proof of it. And that's what we work for. And unfortunately, we still see those things happening in the world today. But we're gonna keep with our music and try to inspire people to be respectful, especially within differences, and be connected through them, you know, and not through similarities, but through difference we can connect each other.
Through differences, we can connect each other. That is a beautiful sentiment, and one that actually relates quite well to the festival you're playing with Good Things. The
Exactly.
varying genres.
Good. The good thing is that for sure. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Now, speaking of influence, you are one of the most influential bands on the current sound of modern metal, in my opinion, anyway.
Thank
Do you hear your influence on other acts, and do other acts frequently tell you that you've influenced them in a positive way?
Oh yeah, it's amazing to hear bands talking about Sepultura as an influence. Deftones and Korn and Slipknot. They always mention Sepultura being an influence, and many bands that came after Sepultura or during the Sepultura career, that we influenced many different bands in many different ways. Uh, I heard that artist from Colombia called Juanes. It's a very amazing artist, and he said that Sepultura was very inspirational to him, not of the style of music, but that it showed him that a South American artist could make it outside, could make an international career. And he went for his career, and now he's one of the biggest artists in the world. And it's amazing to hear those stories, that you don't even know, you don't even imagine how influential we can be. So that's very inspirational for us, and it shows that we are doing something right, I guess.
I think the 40-year career is probably an indication you're doing something right as well.
Fuck yeah.
Now, you did put out the Sepul Quarta release during the lockdown era for us people here in Melbourne. That release featured a lot of special guests. Have you given any thought to inviting some acts from the Good Things lineup up to perform songs with you?
um I mean, not really. I mean, there's so many great bands and a few friends that we're going to meet and stuff. And we like to leave that open. I mean, we did with Dave Ellefson territory in Europe, for instance. We did with Matt Heafy from Trivium in Brazil in a festival. We did Slave New World, you know. Um, so it's cool when we have this type of opportunities from the people who participate on the album. But jamming, it's always open. I like to leave it possibilities open, either for somebody to come to our stage and jam, or either one of us going to somebody's stage and jam. You know, I just jammed with Mr. Bango a few months ago. We played Territory together. I jammed with Ugly Kid Joe. We played Motorhead in Spain, you know. So stuff that happens, you know. I met the guy in the lobby of the hotel. We just, you know, you want to jam tonight? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. I like the, you know, that kind of feeling better to plan too much. You know, I think jamming has to be like that. You know, let's do it, and it always works. Always works. Even if you don't know the right notes, it always works at the end.
That's brilliant to hear. You love hearing musicians still really engaged when they, even though they're quite far into their career. One thing that I am particularly curious about is, as you are a radio host, are there any bands you are listening to right now that you feel people watching Good Things TV need to know about?
Oh, the Brazilian scene is amazing. I think it's one of the best momentums from metal Brazilian scenes. We had great bands like Torture Squad, like Claustrophobia, Crypta and Nervosa, the band from the ladies. They are doing an amazing job. Nervo Chaos, Nervo Chaos, you know, and some other stuff that are great, you know, bands that have already a little history, but they are in a great momentum, putting out great albums and doing tours all over the world. So this is something of the Brazilian scene that I think is worth it to check it out.
That's wonderful. Hopefully, we can see some of these bands make their way down to Australia at some point in time. You, of course,
Oh
will be
yeah.
here very, very soon, and Australia is very excited by that prospect. Now, I wouldn't be a music nerd of the level that I am if I wasn't to ask you some slightly nerdy questions. One of those questions is, from a guitar setup point of view, why do you play what you play?
I play with every type of equipment, you know, and I just tried out, and I was never scared to try something new. And in many situations, I didn't have a choice, you know, from places that we played. Like I said, we went to 80 countries around the world, and a lot of them didn't have a structure, and we make it work with some, you know, improvisations and different equipment and stuff. And you learn about yourself as a professional to deal with the situation and not be a slave of any type of equipment or brand, you know. But I use the stuff that I love. Of course, Jackson guitars that I'm with them for more than 20 years. I just put it out a signature model with them, which is I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with the result, with the Quadra artwork, with the EMG and the Floyd Rose. It's amazing. And I'm using the EVH amps. You know, I have this company from Brazil doing my cables called Techni 40. The Dunlop pickups, you know, the Tortex. Um, what else? My strings, I'm using the Von Frankenstein strings that I'm just starting using. I have a signature series as well with my two different gauges, you know, a heavier one, which is a 013s, and the other one 010s. And that's it. I mean, very straightforward. I have a few pedals that my guitar tech messes around with, some delays and flangers and stuff. And I use the wah wah at the front, which is my favorite pedal of all time. And that's it. You know, jamming. All the rest is jamming.
All the rest is jamming. Now, of course, you have your setup worked out, but what is your personal favorite Sepultura song to play live?
That changes a lot, you know, because we have so many songs and we change the set list many times. And A recent song that we just put it on the set list that we didn't play for a while was Dialogue from the album Kairos, which is an amazing song to play live, and we are jamming this song together on the set list, and it feels great, you know. So we're gonna jam there in Australia as well, and as we are recording the live album, you know, it can be, you know, the Australian version that goes out to the album. Let's see, who knows.
Very brilliant. Now, everybody here at Good Things is extremely excited by the prospect of getting Sepultura back into Australia, and I'm sure the audience is excited to see you. I want to know, what is one set by another act that you're going to make sure you see on this festival before you leave?
Dude, of course, I would like to see our friends from Behemoth and Corey Taylor, you know, Limp Bizkit. I'm very curious to see. It's been a long time I don't see them live. And Devo, of course. I mean, I'm very excited to see them live, you know, after a long time. And they are a great band that I used to hate because I was a metal guy, and now I understand what they all are about, and I love them. You know, it's great. We even recorded Devo song on the Revolu Songs album, you know, Mongoloid, and hopefully they'll play that song as well.
Is there any chance you may join them for it?
I hope so, man. Just call me. I'll be there.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us here on Good Things Brings, Andreas. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I'm sure my sentiment here is shared by many people watching, and that is that you are by far one of the best metal bands ever to walk the earth. So thank you for your time.
Fuck yeah, man. I agree. Thank you.
Confidence. See you, man.
Thanks, Brenton.
No worries.